So you are like a rat whose dopamine is so much depleted that you can't move your body, and you are always lazy, and you are always procrastinating on things, and you are thinking that after watching this much David Goggins videos and staying hard motivational videos also, why I can't move my body. This is the reason behind it. Okay, this is the neuroscience behind it. So what happens is, that time stress is higher, and when even Ronaldo is telling that you can, bro, you have always done this. Okay, it's the same as always. What happens is your brain releases a little bit of dopamine, and it pushes the stress hormone and norepinephrine little bit down. Okay, so you have enough motivation and energy to pursue that activity with much courage and with much ease. Okay, like in those friction moments, always use these dopaminergic affirmations. Okay, like the effort part is the good part, I am on the right path, you can do this. Okay. After watching even all the hardcore motivational videos on the internet, like go hard every day, stay disciplined, wake up early, stay consistent, still you can't figure out why I feel depressed, why I feel lazy, why I can't move my body out of the bed, and why I can't get hard things done, then you have come to the right spot, because I'm going to explain all the science behind it, all the mechanism behind it, and also I'm going to give you actionable steps and tools to increase your motivation, to boost motivation, and to stay motivated throughout the day and every day. Not like you watch a motivational video, you do your work for 30 minutes, then you just go on a pleasureful journey, okay, and you just chase pleasures, and you again fall into that trap of procrastination, laziness, and feeling anxious and depressed. One thing I believe in today's generation that can have the most impact in changing your life is understanding neuroscience and understanding why we do certain behaviors that we do, and why if we eat a piece of chocolate, why we crave for another chocolate. There is neuroscientific reasons behind all these mechanisms, and when you understand the mechanisms, why we do certain things, and why we feel in a certain way that we feel, then you have the power and knowledge and information to actually moderate your behavior and to change your behavior. So that is why I think understanding about neuroscience is the most important thing in today's generation, that can give you the power to change your life by yourself. Okay, because you have the knowledge now, you have the information now, you don't need to listen to all the time motivational videos and go hard, stay disciplined, all this. Most of the time it is crap. Okay, because what matters is understanding the chemical processes in your body and in your brain, and why you are doing certain things, and why you are feeling in a certain way that you are feeling. Because understanding neuroscience has actually changed my life. I have made a video about how to stop porn addiction on masturbation permanently. You can check. I have actually wasted 2-3 years watching nonsense pornographic content and just ejaculating to watching other people having sex and all this kind of shit. The most important thing that has helped me in overcoming my addiction, and even in today's day and age, like whenever I fall into some addictive things, like I always go back to neuroscience and understanding how my brain works and why I am doing certain things that I am doing, and that actually pulls me out of my addictive behaviors, because I know how to manage my brain. I know how to manage my neurotransmitters and brain chemicals, okay, in my favor. So that is what I'm going to talk to you about in today's video. So first and foremost, to understand about why you feel lazy, why you feel depressed, and why you don't move out of your bed, and why you feel unmotivated all day, you have to understand about a molecule called dopamine. Most YouTubers are just scamming you. They don't know shit about dopamine. They don't know shit about how neuroscience works. They just want views, so they will tell you, oh, you need to do dopamine detox. Whenever you engage in certain pleasure giving activities, whenever you eat a chocolate, whenever you engage in porn, and whenever you scroll your Instagram, you get dopamine boost. Okay, that is what you need to stop. You need to eliminate dopamine from your body. Most people have no fucking knowledge about how dopamine works in our brain and in our body. You are smarter than that, so you are going to know all the functions about dopamine, because I have spent like half of the decade in researching about neuroscience and dopamine, and I have leveraged that information to change my life. And I am going to explain to you in a very simple way the mechanisms of dopamine, so that you can use that information and leverage that information in your favor, and you don't have to spend like thousands of hours, okay, in researching neuroscience and finding the correct information. That is why this video series that I'm doing, okay, on fixing your life with neuroscience, is so much important. So make sure you subscribe to the channel to get my next videos, and you can also let me know in the comments what kind of videos you want on this topic of fixing your life with neuroscience. Yeah, now let's talk about the main function of dopamine. Dopamine is not only responsible for like reward and experiencing pleasure, but it is as much as responsible for reward and pleasure. It is also that much responsible for motivation. It is responsible for movement. It is responsible for energy. Like without dopamine you will not have alertness in your body. Without dopamine you will not have epinephrine or adrenaline in your body. Like let's say your house gets on fire, or you are in a place where it suddenly gets on fire. Okay, like you need to move your body. What helps in that? Adrenaline helps in that. Without dopamine you will not have adrenaline, because to make adrenaline or epinephrine you need dopamine. So dopamine is responsible for alertness and heightened state of arousal, so that you can take action, okay, and you can focus. That is how much important dopamine is in making you alert and making you focus. Also dopamine is the most important neurotransmitter that is responsible for motivation, like the most important neurotransmitter. Okay, without dopamine you will not be motivated at all. And another thing is dopamine is also responsible for energy. When you are pursuing some hard stuff you need energy. So what helps you? Dopamine helps you in pursuing some hard stuff. Now let me give you a mind-boggling study from the field of neuroscience. So in the 1990s the study was done by Berridge and Robinson, two scientists. So now the study was done in rats. So first of all they took bunch of rats, okay, and they trained those rats to get certain food by pressing a lever. Those rats have been trained properly that in order to get food you have to press the lever. Then they divided those rats into two groups. One is a normal group and one is experimental group. So now in that experimental group what they did with those rats is they injected them with some neurotoxin, and they destroyed their dopaminergic neurons, so that they can't have any dopamine in their brain left. Okay, now they put them in a cage and they given that food, okay, with the help of lever. Yeah, now what they found in that experiment is that the rats that did not have any dopamine, they did not move their body to press the lever and to get the food. And when the food and the lever is placed in a certain distance, but if you keep the food in front of them they will take and experience the pleasure. Okay, but the rats which were normal and which had dopamine, they will move their body, they will press the lever and they will get the food. Okay, so this is the most significant experiment, okay, from which you can understand the role of dopamine in motivation and our desire to pursue pleasureful activities and activities that are necessary for survival also. So you can understand when you are lazy, when you are just staying on your bed and your mother or your parents gives you food, come on beta khalo. So you are just eating that food and you don't have energy to move your body, to work out, to do some hard stuff and to earn your food. So you are like a rat whose dopamine is so much depleted that you can't move your body, and you are always lazy, and you are always procrastinating on things, and you are thinking that, bro, after watching this much David Goggins videos and staying hard motivational videos also, why I can't move my body? This is the reason behind it. Okay, this is the neuroscience behind it. I hope you are understanding the thing and you are listening very carefully. So now you are like, bro, I know about dopamine's function and mechanism. Now tell me how to manage my dopamine properly so that I don't feel like the rat whose dopamine has been destroyed by neurotoxins, and I don't stay on my bed all day, and how to increase my motivation and how to pursue hard things. Yeah, now to understand this you have to understand a thing called pleasure pain balance of our brain. And when we get a very much peak in dopamine, why after that we feel to get more of that pleasure. Now the concept has been very well explained in the book Dopamine Nation by Dr. Anna Lemke. She explained it very much properly. If you don't want to read, I'm going to explain it to you in simple terms. Okay, so the pleasure pain balance is there is a self-regulating balance in our brain. Like whenever we get certain pleasure or whenever you get a big reward, what happens is you eat a chocolate, you have sex, or you eat a very delicious meal, or you watch a very much entertaining movie. What happens is you experience a pleasure. Now whenever you experience pleasure, there is a balance in our brain. Okay, like the pleasure side goes higher. So what happens is when your pleasure side goes higher, our brain evolutionarily designed in a way so that it makes our balance equilibrium. So what it will do is after the very much experience in pleasure, it will tip that balance toward the side of pain. Okay, so that you again go for that same pleasure. Okay, and you again want to experience that pleasure, okay, just to reinforce that activity. Now what do I mean by reinforcing activities? Like you get a chocolate, okay, you feel so fucking good. Now after that your brain tips to the pain side and you crave more. Okay, because after dopamine release there is a drop in dopamine level, and there is a tipping of the balance towards pain side. So you are craving that activity more, or you are craving that drug more. So that is what the main working mechanism of dopamine. It's like whenever you experience a peak in dopamine, your brain's pleasure pain balance will tip towards pain side, and the higher the peak of dopamine is, the longer and the more your brain will tilt towards the pain side, okay, and you will crave that activity more and more, and your dopamine will get much more depleted. That is why the most addictive substances, okay, like cocaine, any kind of drugs, like smoking, alcohol, or amphetamine, or like junk food, or sex, like everything increases our dopamine level more than like normal. So what happens is, after engaging in those kind of drugs, or activities like having an orgasm or any pleasureful activities, your dopamine totally crashes, and you feel very much psychological pain to do that activity more. So this is the reason behind why your dopamine is depleted throughout the day in today's generation. Why? Because we are bombarded with so much junk food, we are bombarded with so much entertainment, we are bombarded with degenerate things called porn, and hyper sexualized imagery throughout the Instagram. Nowadays Instagram is the fucking garbage piece of shit. Like everybody is posting their hyper sexualized imagery. What most men are doing is they are just getting triggered by those hyper sexualized imagery. They are watching porn and they are ejaculating, and they are wasting their energy, okay, every day, each day, even twice a day. That is why whenever you are having an orgasm, or you are ejaculating, your dopamine is going very high, and after that it is crashing down, and your brain's pleasure pain balance is tilting towards the pain side. So you are feeling more pain. The main problem is, once in a while experiencing this high reward or high pleasurable activities is fine, okay, but the thing is, we are doing it on a regular basis. So in that way, our ability to experience pleasure is decreasing very much. Yeah, but the pain is increasing, okay. Like we can't experience the same pleasure after watching another porn video, or after ejaculating once more, or after having that tasty piece of burger or junk food. But our pain for craving, or for experiencing the initial pleasure is going high. So you are feeling very much depressed, you are feeling very much anxious, you are feeling very much unmotivated, and you are like, bro, I need something to feel normal. Now what is that normal? Just normal is just the level balance, like just the pleasure pain level balance, okay. So you are not experiencing pleasure whenever you are engaging in another porn video, whenever you are engaging in another junk food, and you are doing it multiple times. You just to feel normal, you need that activity, because when you do multiple times one high reward giving activity, like your ability to experience the initial pleasure goes down, but the pain is becoming more and more. And this is the messed up truth about dopamine and pleasure pain balance. So now you will ask me how to manage this thing, and how to avoid this thing. There is only one solution. Now I'm going to talk to you about there is two kind of activities. Now this is not neuroscientific terms, but this is, I have made these terms so that you understand the concept of dopamine in simple terms, and in which kind of activities you should focus more. So there is two kind of activities according to me. One is healthy dopamine giving activities, another one is junk dopamine giving activities. Now the concept behind the healthy dopamine giving activities are all the activities that takes high effort and releases normal to moderate amount of dopamine. Like it's not releasing very much high dopamine. So those are healthy dopamine giving activities. Examples of that is you are studying, okay, for an exam, and when you crack that exam after studying, let's say 3 months, you get in dopamine, okay. You are exercising. When you exercise for 45 minutes and you push yourself to go to gym, or push yourself to work out in home very hard, what happens is, after finishing the workout, you get dopamine, and your brain releases different kind of feel good hormones. So you are feeling good, you are releasing a healthy amount of dopamine. So exercise, preparing for an exam, and cracking that exam, then just working towards any goal. Let's say you are content creator, you are making YouTube videos, you are making content, you are working towards a goal of achieving this much followers. So these are all healthy dopamine giving activities, because the effort is very much high here, and the dopamine releasing is in a normal amount, or in moderate amounts. Now what are the junk dopamine giving activities? Now junk dopamine giving activities are the activities that takes low to zero effort, and that just releases dopamine like hell. All the activities you can imagine in this modern generation are junk dopamine giving activities. 99% people are engaged in. Examples, I can talk like about 1 hour about these activities, but you are aware of those activities, like scrolling Instagram, checking out hot girls, or if you are a female, hot boys, okay, and watching porn. So all these things are junk dopamine giving activities, because there is no effort. Talking to a partner, going on dates, investing your energy, understanding how the person is, then you are having an intimate activity. Okay, that is different from just watching porn and just ejaculating to other watching other people having sex. Okay, so this is the worst junk dopamine activity. Then there is smoking. First of all, you get lung cancer. Okay, then also you get increase in dopamine very much. Okay, it's like it increases your dopamine level like 150 times. Okay, from the baseline of dopamine. Then there is cocaine. The worst drugs are your cocaine and amphetamine. Like never try this kind of drugs in your life. Okay, because they increases your dopamine 1,000-fold. So okay, from the baseline of dopamine. So the drop and the tilt towards the pain side of your pleasure pain balance is very much higher. So you will feel so shit after that. Okay, that you will crave that initial high, and you will engage in that activity more and multiple times, and that is how you will become a dopamine depleted rat who will just sit on his bed, will not do any hard activity, and will destroy his or her brain. So these are junk dopamine giving activities. So throughout your whole day you should focus on healthy dopamine giving activities. You wake up in the morning, you take sunlight. Okay, you start working, then you exercise. Okay, then you stimulate yourself at the end of the day by watching a movie, or by watching some good like videos, or by stimulating your mind with some good music, not some garbage music. Okay, so still that is tolerable for your brain. But whenever you wake up in the morning, you are eating chole bhature. Okay, you are like picking your dopamine very much higher. Suddenly when you wake up in the morning, then you are experiencing pain suddenly. Okay, so you are again going into watching porn and consuming more and more junk food. So you are living like a totally unmotivated, lazy piece of shit. So if you want to maintain a healthy balance of dopamine in your brain, you have to force yourself to engage in healthy dopamine giving activities from the morning, especially when you are addicted to different kind of junk dopamine giving activities for a period of time. Okay, for few years. Okay, so this is all about dopamine's mechanisms and healthy dopamine giving activities and junk dopamine giving activities, and how to manage your dopamine properly so that you feel motivated. So the fact is, the more you will engage in healthy dopamine giving activities, the more your dopamine levels will stay balanced, and you should actually limit your junk dopamine giving activities totally zero to like very less. So that is how you can stay a healthy, motivated person, and you can maintain your motivation and energy throughout the day. So this is the only way. There is no other way. Okay, these 5 minutes hardcore motivational videos can help you here and there, but until or unless you can fix your dopamine balance in your brain, till that time you will not stay motivated. Okay, and after just 30 minutes of work, you will again fall into the trap of engaging in porn or engaging in junk dopamine giving activities. How much you can sustain motivation by watching somebody's talk? Okay, like that can give you an initial boost of motivation and initial boost of dopamine. For that reason you will take action, but after that there will be fall in dopamine levels, and there will be a crash, and your pleasure pain balance will shift to the pain side. So you will again engage in high dopamine giving activities. So you have to eliminate those junk dopamine giving activities, and you have to force yourself to engage in healthy dopamine giving activities. Yeah, so now you'll be like, bro, give me some actionable steps and tools so that I can easily engage in these healthy dopamine giving activities. So first, and one of the most important actionable step is dopaminergic affirmations. The thing about dopaminergic affirmation is, whenever you have to force yourself to engage yourself into this hard activities or effortful activities, you are going to say to yourself that I know this is hard, I know this is painful, I know I am feeling very much agitation and frustration while doing these activities, but this effort part is the good part, because it will reset my dopamine level, and I will not feel in future bad or lazy or unmotivated. So this is the good part, and this is the right path. In those moments of intense friction or intense frustration and agitation, when you are feeling very shit and before doing a hard activity, you are going to tell yourself, but this is the right path, this effort part is the good part. Okay, because it is going to change my life, and it is going to make my dopamine level totally balanced. So I have to do these things. Okay, so these are dopaminergic affirmations. What happens is, when you tell yourself that, you will release some amount of dopamine that will push the stress hormone. Like before engaging in a activity, you get little bit of stress and a little bit of agitation. Now that is because your body releases and your brain releases norepinephrine, which is the stress hormone, or which is the hormone which makes you agitated. Okay, so when you tell yourself all these good things, like I'm on the right path, bro, this effort part is the good part. You have seen a Ronaldo's video, bro, when before taking a like penalty or something, he was telling, bro, this is good, I have done this enough times, okay, this is same as always, okay, I can always do this, I can, okay, like he's telling himself that, okay. So what happens is, that time stress is higher, and when even Ronaldo is telling that, you can, bro, you have always done this, okay, it's the same as always. What happens is your brain releases, a little bit of dopamine, and it pushes the, stress hormone and norepinephrine little bit down, okay. So you have, enough motivation and energy to, pursue that activity with much courage and, with much ease, okay. So that is why this dopaminergic affirmation part is, so much important, okay. So understand this thing, okay, and use this thing, like in those friction moments always use this dopaminergic affirmations, okay. Like the effort part is the good part, I am on the right path, you can do this, okay. On the other side there is, greatness, on the other side there is, the dopamine reset and, all the good things, okay. So let's stay on the path. So this is about dopaminergic affirmation. And now second actionable step is, intermittent reinforcement of reward. Now what do I mean by that? The thing is, whenever you are pursuing a hard activity, or whenever you accomplish something, don't always celebrate, okay. Like before going to workout, you have seen, all these people who goes to gym with, big headphones, pre-workout Red Bull, some people drinks even Sting energy drink, okay. Whenever you have those, dopamine increasing substances, or you listen to, very high bass music before pursuing a hard activity, your brain becomes used to that, okay. So next time when you listen to music and take the energy drink, you don't feel that good to perform that hard activity. So what you have to do is, you have to intermittently reward yourself. You can't every time listen to high bass music and, have an energy drink before going to workout. Then your ability to experience pleasure, which I talked about, will go down, and you will not feel that much motivated to pursue those hard things, okay. And your brain will not feel good about those hard activities that you have to do, or those healthy dopamine giving activities that you have to pursue. So limit your rewards, okay. Like don't always reward yourself before accomplishing any activity, or after accomplishing any activity. In those cases your brain is reinforcing those behaviors, like listening to music, having an energy drink, or after you accomplish an activity, you go and engage in some bullshit junk food, or very much entertainment you engage yourself into, okay. What is happening that time is, your brain is reinforcing those activities rather than the dopamine which you get from pursuing those hard activities. So wait little bit, okay, before engaging in a high dopamine giving activities. And do not celebrate every accomplishment, so every win, okay. Let's say your goal is to crack a exam, so bro, when I crack that exam I will celebrate, not before that. Like I study hard for 5 hours, then I will not go and celebrate, I will not go and party, okay. Like when I accomplish this particular goal, I will celebrate. Like if you are a content creator, like you are going to set yourself that, bro, not before 10k I will celebrate, like until or unless I have 10k I won't celebrate, but I will just keep doing the hard work which it takes, okay. It's not like I hit 1000 subscribers and I will celebrate the fuck out of it, okay. So you are not going to do that, okay. So this is how you maintain your healthy dopamine level, okay, in your brain, by intermittently rewarding yourself. Like avoid sometimes coffee, avoid sometimes energy drinks, and avoid sometimes music before workout, or avoid every time rewarding yourself for accomplishing a hard stuff. Do it intermittently, okay. Now that is how you maintain your dopamine balance in your brain, and that is how you have enough motivation to pursue hard things all day every day, and you stay on the path of hard continued pursuit, okay. So this is the secret behind all the high achievers, okay. People who are always hard working, like you can say like Virat Kohli, like David Goggins, like any like SRK in the Bollywood, okay. Like if you see any of the hardworking people, they are not rewarding themselves, they are not going on vacations every time. So you have to intermittently reward yourself, and you have to avoid pre and post effort engagement in high rewarding activities, okay, or junk dopamine giving activities. Now I'm going to give you some tools and some dietary changes, and what you can do so that you have enough dopamine available in your body, and so that you have enough motivation available in your body, okay. Because you need dopamine for motivation, so if you increase your dopamine level, you will increase your motivation and energy to pursue hard things, okay. So first tool is caffeine. Now there are different studies, like there is a study in Journal of Neuroscience, which shows that in undergraduate students, consumption of caffeine releases dopamine like 30%, okay. So it is a very miraculous drug, okay. If you don't consume caffeine, like, you should consume if you are not sensitive to caffeine and you don't have any problem to caffeine, okay. Like if you're a normal human being, you should add always coffee in your daily life if you want to accomplish hard things with much more energy and with much more focus, okay. Because it will increase your focus and attention, it will make you more alert, and it will also increases dopamine by 30%. Caffeine is one of the most miraculous drug which you can take Like, do not take caffeine on the night time, always take when you wake up in the morning after 2 hours of that. Okay, don't take caffeine when you just wake up in the morning. There's many reasons behind that. I will explain it in another video. But now second thing is having a L-tyrosine rich diet. Now what is L-tyrosine? Now L-tyrosine is the precursor to dopamine. Like, L-tyrosine gets converted into L-dopa, which makes dopamine in your brain. Okay, and also dopamine is the thing which makes adrenaline and norepinephrine, which are necessary for motivation, alertness, and focus. Okay, so the thing is, if you don't have enough L-tyrosine in your body present, then how you are gonna be motivated all day? Like, that is the thing what happens with people who consume just junk foods and high carbohydrate rich foods. They don't have any amino acids, so they don't have any of these precursor which it takes to have enough dopamine in your body. Sometimes you are not even consuming junk dopamine giving activities, still you are unmotivated because your diet sucks. Okay, so you have to consume L-tyrosine rich diet. Most important food is for everybody, I think, eggs. Even if you are a vegan, or even if you are a vegetarian, I think you should consider consuming eggs, because eggs don't have embryo and they don't have life. Okay, so it is safe if you have ethical reasons to not consume non-vegetarian food. Consume enough eggs. Okay, it has L-tyrosine. Also chicken, red meat, then seeds and nuts. Every protein rich food has L-tyrosine, which is precursor to making dopamine in your body, and thus that dopamine can give you enough motivation to pursue hard things. If you don't have enough L-tyrosine, if your diet sucks, if you just drink cola, and if you just drink sodas all day and carbohydrate rich foods all day, if you don't have enough protein in your diet, there will be no motivation to pursue anything. You will just stay unmotivated and you will just stay lazy. Okay, so have enough L-tyrosine rich foods in your diet. Okay, third tool is exercise. Now there is a mind-boggling study that has been published just recently, okay, like few years ago, that nobody talks about. That they have reviewed 97 review papers, and there was like more than 1,000 trials, and there was like 130,000 participants. Like, no, still nobody talks about this study. Okay, most doctors won't even mention this study. Like, this study was done in University of South Australia. So that study showed that in adults, like, to improve the symptoms of depression, anxiety, or any psychological distress, exercise is 1.5 times more effective. Just listen to me carefully. Like, exercise is 1.5 times more effective in improving your symptoms of depression, anxiety, or any kind of psychological distress. So next time you are feeling depressed, anxiety, and you are just distressed about something, okay, psychologically, just engage in any kind of exercise, bro. Whether it is resistance training, whether it is yoga, whether it is cardiovascular exercise, like any kind of exercise will improve your symptoms of depression, will improve your symptoms of anxiety, will improve your symptoms of any psychological distress, rather than medication, and rather than counseling or cognitive behavioral therapy. So that has been showed in this study. So you have to engage in exercise, bro. Okay, like, this is the most beneficial thing you can do in this modern generation. Now fourth and the last tool I'm going to talk about today is cold exposure. Now I know many people talks that bro, there is no fucking benefit of cold exposure. Like, what happens if you take cold exposure? The thing is, I'm not talking about cold shock proteins or any kind of bullshit things. Okay, those are not bullshit, those are real. Also you get cold shock proteins, but most people deny that thing. Okay, there is not much benefits also of cold exposure. But in my opinion, the single most important benefit of having a cold exposure, taking a cold shower or anything, what it does is it increases your dopamine moderately well, and also it maintains your dopamine for a long time. Okay, it's not like junk dopamine giving activities that it will increase your dopamine, then there will be a crash, okay, and you will feel pain. It's not like that. It maintains your dopamine for a very long time. So until next time when you are feeling little bit depressed and anxious, go take a shower, cold shower. Okay, and if you don't have access to cold shower, take a bowl or even a bottle. If you don't have anything, like, just take some ice on that, or take cold water and just pour it into your body. Okay, you will instantly feel like there is a relief of some kind of stress. Okay, that is nothing but there is a rise in level of dopamine. Okay, that will help you being focused, and that will increase your alertness. That is how I think cold exposure is one of the most important thing you can do for your brain and body, and to maintain dopamine level. So this is another tool important for increasing your dopamine in a healthy way, and also thus increasing your motivation in a healthy way. So this is all about today's video. I hope you have understood and you have learned something new and good information, and you can use this information and you can leverage this information in your favor and in your life, and you can take action to change your life. I have explained in this video why you feel depressed, why you feel unmotivated, the reason behind it, the main molecule, okay, which is dopamine, how dopamine works, what is the main function of dopamine. I have told you about the experiments done which shows the function of dopamine very much clearly. Then I have told you about healthy dopamine giving activities, junk dopamine giving activities, and also I have told you how to manage your dopamine properly throughout the day and why you need to always engage in healthy dopamine giving activities. And in the end I have given you actionable steps. These are all scientifically researched and these are all backed by neuroscience, okay, like dopaminergic affirmation you can use, and you should reward yourself intermittently, and a few times you should reward yourself after every win, okay. So I have told you about these actionable steps. Also I have given you some practical tools like introducing caffeine, having L-tyrosine rich diet, exercise, then having cold exposure. So I have given you all the tools, and you can leave a comment whether you have enjoyed this video and also what kind of videos you would like to see in this fix your life with neuroscience series. Okay, I'm going to make a number of videos in this topic, okay, like fixing your life with neuroscience. So till then I will see you soon in my next video. Stay savage, stay tough, take care, bye bye, see ya.